In this video, we're going to talk about three functions that you can use to look up some result. So the first one we're going to talk about is the VLOOKUP. When you're doing a VLOOKUP, everything is in columns, so you're doing vertical. So we have a field in column A, which is product number, field in column B, which is description, field in column C, wholesale, and field in column D, that's retail. So everything is vertical. The records go across a row. So when we use a VLOOKUP, we're going to look up some value. We're going to retrieve it from a table array, which will be this information here. And then the last aspect, or the next aspect, is what column do we want to return. So this would be column 1, which is product. Oops, let's not move that. Column 2, or column B, it's column 2. Column C will be the index 3, and retail will be index 4. So we're going to do that here. So we're going to look up the product 110, and we're going to return the wholesale price. So we start with equal VLOOKUP. The lookup value will be G6. The table array will be just the data. You don't have to provide titles, but it just makes it a little easier to work with. Since we're not copying these down, we don't really have to worry too much about absolutes. So we'll do comma. Next is what do I want to find? So once it finds product 110, what do we want to put in that field, or that cell? So we want to retrieve the third item, which is wholesale. That's why it's nice to have the headings along the top. So we'll just do 3. And then what kind of range lookup? Since we're looking up a product number, we want to have an exact match, because if someone makes some mistakes and does 101, then it's going to retrieve the closest one, the smallest one, which will be 100. We don't want that. So we want to make it false. And we'll hit enter. And we can see that for product 110, it retrieves $2.50. So 110 is $2.50. If we change this to 100, we have $3. And let's change just so we have some different values. Let's say the green marker is $3.25 and the red marker is $1.75. Might be better numbers to work with. So if we change this to product 130, we can see the new price. Now what's kind of neat is if I go and change this to $2, since it is dynamic, it will change. So you'll always have something that is updated. Okay, so the next type of lookup we can use is an HLOOKUP. And an HLOOKUP, everything is really an organization, the fields by row. So this first field, product number, is field 1. Description is field 2. Wholesale is field 3, and retail is field 4. And then each column will now represent a data. So whereas VLOOKUP, the fields were vertical, that's where the V comes from. In HLOOKUP, the fields are horizontal. Other than that, we follow the same arguments. So we go over here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so we don't run out of space. So do equal HLOOKUP, and the lookup value will be column G. The table array will again be the data. Do not need to include the headings. We want the fourth value, the fourth row, in essence, when it finds. So when it finds 110, it's going to go row 1, row 2, row 3. We want to do retail in this one, so we're going to do 4. And just like with VLOOKUP, we want to give it an exact, so we'll do false. And then you can see that it retrieves $4 for the product 110. So let's go change the retail for the green marker to 3, not 300, but $3. And we'll do this at $2.75. So if I go and change the red marker to 130, I'm sorry, the product number to 130, then we get $1.75. Oh, let's fix that, $2.75. So again, these are dynamic. You have a table array, whether it is based on a horizontal or a vertical setup for fields, and then you can enter the rows or columns that you need to retrieve. The new lookup function that you need Office 2021 or Microsoft 365 is the XLOOKUP. Now the XLOOKUP is a little different. Starts out the same. We have a lookup value. So what are we looking up? So we're going to be doing G6 here. What is our lookup array? That'll be the values that we're going to be looking up. So it'll be really A6 through A9. And then what's our return? So instead of providing a column or a row, we can actually do the actual values we want to retrieve. Then there are two optionals. The first optional is if not found. So think of the if not found as building in that if error that we use a lot. So if we type a product that's not there, then we can get a message back as opposed to just an error. And then the last one is the match mode. So how do I want my returns to be matched? So in H6, we'll type in equal XLOOKUP. The lookup value again will be the G6, comma. The lookup array is going to be A6 through A9. And then the return array, we want the wholesale value. We could do description or whatever we want, but we're going to do wholesale value, so we'll just highlight that. So we don't have to worry about what column is this, what row is it. We just want to, what's we're going to return, comma. If not found, we'll just put in a double quotes. And then the last one is the types of match. And we're going to choose 0 because we want to be an exact match. And then we'll hit enter. So 110, let's change these values a little bit. We'll change this to $4 and we'll change this to $1.50. Just so we see something a little different. So I'll type in 100 and you'll see that it returns the $3. If I type in 130, turns in 150. If I try, let's say 125, I get the blank. So you might put here instead of that the double quotes, you might just say check product or product does not exist or whatever error message that you would want to return. So those are the three types. Put this back to something that works. Those are the three types of lookup functions: the VLOOKUP, the HLOOKUP, and the new XLOOKUP. As more and more people install the newer version of Office, you'll find that this will be taking over from the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP. Thank you.